Our other big story today is the weather, and some of you might be waking up to some wet streets.
Meryl Desalegn-Javora. Yes, I know we had some wet streets coming in this morning. How's it looking right now?
Yeah, a little bit of sheen on the roads this morning. No puddles or anything like that to speak of, but certainly the pavement a little bit wet, especially if you live near and around Interstate 80 and northward this morning. We're getting brushed by a little weather system. Actually, it was a big weather system that brought a couple of inches of rain to the northwest coast, but now it's falling apart on top of us. But we're still tracking a little light rain on Doppler radar this morning, mainly up into the foothills now and mountains, especially north of Interstate 80, near and around LaPorte and Brownsville, Feather Falls. We've been seeing some light to moderate showers here. Same thing around Loma Rica and towards the Grass Valley, Nevada City area. There have been a couple of light showers. Same thing in Auburn this morning. You're waking up to a little light rain. And we've also had the rain around Folsom and Granite Bay this morning, a little bit so, pushing into El Dorado Hills. So as we look at downtown Sacramento right now, though, it is dry. We have the clouds overhead, and south of downtown into the San Joaquin Valley, we have not seen the rain, so don't expect your pavement to be wet this morning. So the clouds are overhead right now in Sacramento, and they'll be there through the next several hours, but the rain showers will be drying up as the morning goes on. We're going to break into a lot of sunshine today. It's going to be beautiful. Midday temperatures are going to be warming through the 70s. We'll likely top out at or just above 80 degrees at 5 p.m. today. So looking good at a beautiful day ahead. Now, as we look at the temperature trend over the next couple of days, it's going to be going up from here. We'll look at that 7-day forecast all coming up. Let's check in with Brian right now, see how the roads are shaping up on this Tuesday.
We're going to go back to 80 and Enterprise. It appears there's a ladder in the roadway somewhere in here in the number 1 and 2 lane on that westbound side. Don't see it here in the camera shot, but if you are heading westbound right now, just watch out for folks slamming on the brakes or swerving to avoid a ladder that is in the road as you're heading out westbound out toward the causeway. But you can see here through this stretch, traffic moving just fine. Eastbound looking good as you're making your way out. Interstate 80 coming down into the area, 80 over the top, down into West Sacramento looking good there. Through the Cap City Freeway, no problems. Highway 50 incident free, as well as 5 and 99. So we've got no problems coming up out of Elk Grove. Checking in on Stockton, and we're still looking good here. 5 and 99 Crosstown Freeway. One minor issue westbound 4. It's off the shoulder of the road. A vehicle went into a ditch there. Not going to cause you a delay. Modesto to Manteca, a 15-minute ride right now up the 99 corridor. Westbound 205, 39 minutes. 580 is 26 minutes. And here in Sacramento, as you saw on the map, everything's still running at the limit. Now, those living near the Fix 50 project in East Sacramento have been dealing with a lot of loud noises every night for months now. And now Caltrans warns it's about to get worse, specifically for those of you who live near the freeway between 65th Street and Stockton Boulevard. They're planning overnight demolition work all week long. This also means drivers need to watch for lane closures and lane shifts, something we've become very accustomed to. It's all part of the $471 million multi-year project that is now more than 75% complete. Deirdre?
All right, thank you. New this morning, one man is in custody after leading deputies on a short chase. Chase started around 3 o'clock near Madison Avenue because of a traffic violation. It ended at the intersection of Antelope Road and Daly Avenue. Deputies say that the driver crashed his car, then refused to get out of the car. Eventually, he did get out after complaining of pain. He was taken to the hospital and then jail. This morning, there's some new concerns about violence in Stockton. Now, in the latest incident, police say that the victims are just 15 and 16 years old.
Both of the teens were shot. One of them was killed. Police found the 2 shooting victims near North Center Street and Channel Street just after 4:30 yesterday afternoon. One of the teens died at the scene, though police have not said which one it was. The other is expected to survive. Stockton officers were seen on North El Dorado Street and East Weber Avenue, a few blocks south of where that shooting was reported.
It's very alarming to us that something like this would happen in such a busy area part of town. Pretty brazen for that to happen. So something that we'll be looking in, our detectives will try and figure out what exactly led up to this shooting to try and develop a motive of what can we do to help that.
Officers detained a man, but at this point it's not clear if he's connected to the shooting. Details were not released about a possible suspect or motive. It's been 1 week since a 17-year-old was shot and killed right in front of his Rio Linda home, and the family is still searching for answers. The family of Andres Chavez says he was shot near their front yard fence, which is now covered in flowers. The Sacramento County Sheriff's Office arrested a 15-year-old boy in connection to the shooting the day after it happened, but Chavez's family says they believe that more people were involved in this homicide, and Chavez's mother says after he was shot, Chavez came back inside. She was able to call 911 as her son was dying in her arms.
When you see your son asking for help and you're trying to do what you can to help and you just can't, and you feel like time is just taking, like, just going too long for rescue to get here.
The Sheriff's Department is still trying to determine if anyone else was involved, and the family plans to hold a fundraiser this Sunday.
Well, new this morning, using less lethal force. The Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is exploring some ways to deal with critical incidents without having to turn to deadly force.
KCRA 3's Melanie Wingo joins us live now to explain how the Sheriff's Office is doing just that. Melanie, good morning.
Good morning. Well, it comes down to equipment and training. Sheriff Jim Cooper committing to making sure his deputies have the training they need and also access to newer equipment that is less lethal.
Hey, sir, how's it going? Sheriff's Office. Hey, put that down. Stop or I'll use force. Taser, taser, taser.
We recently got the opportunity to check out how the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is working with a newer generation of taser. Sheriff Jim Cooper committing to this type of what's known as less lethal equipment for use in de-escalating critical incidents over the next 5 years. The new 10-barrel tasers actually use 1/50th the voltage of their older two-pronged previous generation counterparts with greater ability, we're told, for subduing subjects from farther away.
I have no doubt that during that 5-year contract, these things will absolutely save lives. And that's really the whole goal with a system like that, is to be able to equip our officers to keep themselves safe, to keep the public safe, and to keep the people that they're having to use these devices on safe.
And we're also learning about how the Sheriff's Office is working on that training component. In fact, there's a 2-week block in October where some of those patrol deputies will receive additional training that puts them above the required amount of training that other officers would have across the state. Reporting live in Sacramento County, Melanie Wingo, KCRA 3 News.
Melanie, thank you. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll hear more about how officers train to make those life or death decisions in split seconds.
Negotiations between lawmakers will be put to the test today on Capitol Hill. The House will consider several year-long budget bills, but even if they pass, it appears we may still be on track for a government shutdown. KCRA 3's Amy Liu is in our Washington bureau with more on the last-ditch efforts to avoid it.
Well, it's unclear whether there's enough support to pass these year-long spending bills. But with a dozen of them to approve and 5 days to the deadline, Republicans have to find more support to pass a temporary budget to keep the government running.
I feel we made some progress.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is pushing forward with a vote on 4 year-long budget bills loaded with Republican priorities.
We'll know whether Tuesday night that we have that.
Funding the military, Homeland Security, state and agriculture departments, hoping to build goodwill with conservative holdouts.
I'm not sure I will vote yes on all 4.
But a repeat failed vote is possible as members of the Hard Right Freedom Caucus demand more cuts to spending. Critical that a temporary budget extension would only delay the larger spending debate.
We should be at a point where we don't need a stopgap measure where we would have passed our 12 appropriations bills by now.
A government shutdown looming over millions of federal workers and families.
Everyone in America could be faced with paying the price for that.
President Biden is urging lawmakers to stick to the debt ceiling deal made in the spring.
Now, if the Republicans in the House don't start doing their job, we should stop electing them.
And the Senate will start voting today on its own bipartisan plan for a temporary budget extension, but even that faces some Republican opposition. In Washington, I'm Amy Liu, KCRA 3 News.
Amy, thank you for your report this morning. The White House says 1.3 million service members would be impacted and will not get their paychecks until a budget is passed.
Well, today the Supreme Court justices are returning to work as their approval ratings plummet to new lows. Today, the 9 justices will meet in person for their first closed-door conference of the new term. All eyes are on Chief Justice John Roberts and how he navigates the current docket. Questions have continued about the court's ethics and legitimacy. So far, the court has struggled to respond to the controversy in the wake of cases like the Dobbs decision overturning Roe v. Wade. Meanwhile, Democrats in Congress say they want to regulate the third branch of government, which they say has become increasingly more partisan.